All right, guys. Welcome, Sam and Kurt, to Manila, Philippines. How are you guys doing?
Oh, we're great.
Yeah?
We're excited to be here with you, man.
First
Good.
time ever in the Philippines, so it's awesome.
Wow, that's excellent. And I know all of your fans here are really excited about you guys being here. You've got two shows coming up this week. And why don't you tell us a little bit more about that?
Well, yeah, the shows are super high energy and fun. We just played a show in KL just 2 nights ago.
It's hard to keep it straight anymore. But
Yeah.
yeah.
And so, yeah, looking forward to just having a great time.
Yeah,
Excellent. It really looks like you guys are enjoying everything. Now, actually, I wanted to talk about musicianship and YouTube. Do you guys consider yourself more YouTubers or musicians? Or are you both, a little bit of both?
I mean, I think you have to be a little bit of both nowadays. We
Yep.
both came at it definitely from the musician angle. We both,
Yep.
did a lot of music in school and in college. And yeah, our first priority in putting content online was to put high quality music online, and
Great.
and the rest of the stuff has followed. Now we're both vlogging, we're doing other
Right.
kinds of stuff, we're doing scripted things. So we've expanded, but music is at the
Is the
of
core.
it. Yeah, for
Excellent. So who handles more of the video aspect? Because I know we see mostly your face a lot and yours as well, but who is involved in what part of the process?
I mean, it's very collaborative in many ways. Like, as far as video ideas go, we'll definitely talk stuff out, see what resonates. I
see.
I would say maybe more of the technical stuff
Yeah.
is me,
This
but
guy,
definitely
Yeah.
idea-wise, we like to get stuff that we both really feel is cool.
for sure.
Excellent. Well, that's great. Now, about making the transition from say YouTube to the stage now, what do you find are the challenges that you're faced with as musicians, bringing it from just the YouTube screen, which is really kind of personal, to the live stage, which is a very different monster altogether?
I mean, I would say the live stage is more personal
Yep.
than the YouTube kind of screen, because we actually, have living, breathing people who are live
Right.
in the room with us and listening to our music. And I mean, I know I certainly come from a live music background of doing theater and a cappella and choir. So bringing it back to the live performance is actually the easiest thing in the world.
Right.
It's in some ways a lot more enjoyable than sort of doing things in this little bubble in LA
That's
and
right.
shooting these videos. So it's awesome.
That's great. And you're more in your element.
Exactly.
Definitely, it's
Yeah.
more natural performing live with fans right there.
That's
And
right.
On a computer screen, it's so disconnected.
Yeah.
Understand. And you being part of the more technical side, how about you? Are you in your element as well on the stage?
Well, live, I get to rock out, I get to play keys, sometimes acoustic guitar, so it's fun for all of us, especially when there's fans screaming. You get
Yes.
to reach your hand out into them, so it's a blast.
That's great. And you guys have that rapport. Now, speaking of rapport, how important is it to have that connection with your audience? Because initially, YouTube was kind of a cold platform where, it really wasn't a thing to answer fans back. How much of the fan mail do you actually answer? And how much of the comments do you actually comment back to?
A surprising amount, actually. Not always on YouTube, but like whenever we have Wi-Fi on this tour, we're always
Yeah.
checking Twitter and, always trying to reply to a few tweets. So, we know the people that are always tweeting at us and sending us messages on Facebook.
Excellent.
And we try to reply to as many as we can. And I think staying in touch is really important with fans nowadays.
Yeah.
Right.
Nowadays, not only do fans crave that personal interaction, but we love it. It allows us, even though on a day-to-day basis we're not seeing everybody because we're just filming videos in LA,
Right.
But it allows us to feel like we have this family worldwide that is sharing our music, and there's a lot of love going both ways. So it's pretty
Great.
incredible.
So you would say it's very important then to have that connection with your fans.
Absolutely.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So in that sense, then, do you feel that there's a pressure as YouTubers to join all of these new sites that come up? There was Viber just suddenly came up, and Google Plus was this strange monster at one point that came up. Do you feel you guys have that pressure to join all of these sites so that you can connect to these different kinds of fans?
I mean, I definitely think it's important to connect to your fans. So, however you do that, as long as you're connecting with your fan base, then that's what's important. So,
Yep.
I mean, for us, I think it's mainly outside of YouTube. I think it's mainly Twitter and Instagram and Facebook. But as long as you're connecting with your fans, that's what's important.
That's what's important.
Yeah,
Great.
and it's important to know what's going on, even if you're not utilizing the platform. It's important to understand, what is Vine, what is all
Right.
this stuff, because that scene is changing so quickly. So it's
That's
good to
right.
keep your thumb on the pulse. Yeah.
Cool, that's great to know. Now, also speaking of being in touch with your fans and understanding who your viewers are, how important as YouTubers do you think it is to study your analytics? Because I know as YouTubers you have, well, we have this awesome thing where you can study all the demographics of who watches your videos, what countries they come from. How deep of an understanding do you have of your audience, like mathematical wise and statistic wise?
I think it's really important for a tour where you're trying to, decide where to go. For me personally, I'm a huge nerd, so I
true.
look at all those numbers
Right.
just because that interests me anyway. Even if it weren't important for what we do for a career, I'm just
Right.
interested in numbers. So it intrigues me to know, like, oh, it's this percentage in the U.S., but on this video, like, it's this, and like if you look at like the gender demographic over time, it's like this curve, and
Wow.
like I totally nerd out on all that stuff.
Yeah.
That's great.
I mean, as you know, YouTubers have to be jacks of all trades. You have to understand a little
right.
bit of everything, and you have to be marketers as well and figure out how best to get what you do and what you love to do to as many people as possible. So understanding that kind of stuff is
Right.
is crucial.
So
Yeah.
is this stuff you kind of learned? I guess the entrepreneurial aspect of being a YouTuber, this is stuff you've learned along the way, or did you study it in school, or?
No,
How did
I
that work?
mean, you kind of have to make it up as you go, which happens to be the title of my debut album.
Nice.
And honestly,
better.
the reason I titled the album that is because that kind of does describe what you have to do as a YouTuber or
Right.
as anyone in new media, because there's not a lot of precedent out there. So everyone kind of has to figure out what they're doing and how to best take advantage of the new tools. So
Right.
yeah, we're making it up as we go.
Yeah, certainly starting out on YouTube, there's no job description. There's no one
Right.
who's like, I am just a singer. It's like, no, if you're starting out on YouTube, you have to work on marketing, like graphics, like understanding video stuff, production on audio. There's so many different hats, and a lot of it, obviously Sam's an amazing performer. I was really into audio production, but so much of that was stuff that we had to learn and pick up as we
Right.
went on.
Absolutely.
Excellent. So now speaking of the entrepreneurial aspect, I wanted to ask, how has this benefited just your financial part of your life? Like, are you allowed to talk about that? How does making money on YouTube work? I know you guys have several streams of income. What are they? Do you sell merch as well? And I know you make off touring. How does that work?
I mean, it's a little bit of everything, and it's a lot like being a traditional musician. A lot of our ways of earning a living are the same. We're touring, we're selling merchandise, we're selling our albums and our music online. The only additional kind of thing is that, yeah, we have this great platform, YouTube, which is just a way to kind of push to all of those different avenues. So that's kind of our main place for people to see what we're doing and then kind of direct them to ways that they can support us.
I see. So what do you guys do then to keep pure? Like as you said, usually you have your hands in different jobs, right? Whereas the traditional artist just concentrate on the art, and they have a team behind them handling all of these
Yeah.
non-artistic sides of being of showbiz. So how do you guys manage to keep your craft pure?
In many ways, I actually think having your hand in so many different things, like, the video production and all that, makes it so your art is more a sense of who you are than just if you're only focused on, I am the singer or I am the producer of the song. It's like, we have a hand in basically everything that fans see directly. It is us. So I feel like that makes it pure.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah, and I mean, for the debut album, Make It Up, it was very important to us that was a very, pure reflection of who
Yes.
we are. So really, the tracks that fans hear on that album, these are pretty much the only two hands that touch that at all,
Wow.
and I think that was really special. And I think that's what people respond to nowadays, is that sense of earnestness and
Right.
intimacy. So yeah, it's really important.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. I find audiences really identify with integrity. And I wanted to touch a little bit about that in terms of integrity, endorsements.
Yeah.
Do you get approached for endorsements? I know here in the Philippines, it's a very big way for companies to get in touch with their audiences and to sell products. How do you handle the whole endorsement aspect?
Yeah, we've done a number of endorsements, everything from Buick, Samsung, Sprint, Nintendo. The biggest one, and I would say most successful one for us, has been Coca-Cola.
Wow,
which,
great.
We did a Coca-Cola online campaign that was then turned into a national spot on TV.
Yeah.
And I think what's really important for endorsements is that even if you're endorsing a product, it has to be in a way that's authentic to who you are.
Mhm.
And you know, with Coca-Cola, if it was something like Sam sings a line of a song and then takes a drink of Coke and then sings another line, like that would feel cheesy, and
Right.
that would
Yeah.
feel out of
Contrived
place.
and
Yeah.
that sort of
But
thing.
the way we did it is we used Coke bottles and cans and products to actually make the music
Yeah.
that we use in the video. And when it's done in that way, it's not only better for the brand and the advertiser because
Mhm.
we're using all different products in the
Right.
video, but our fans watch it and they think that's cool because you know it's authentic to who we are.
That's right. It couldn't have been made up, is what
Right.
you're saying.
Yeah.
It's coming straight from you.
Yeah, they can tell.
Yeah.
They can tell that it's
So then, do you consider yourself independent artists still? You're not backed by a big machine. Is that what you consider yourselves? as?
definitely in a traditional sense. We are totally independent artists. You know, we obviously, you know, get help for touring and things like that because it's a lot. But in terms of, you know, a traditional record deal or record label,
Right.
we're not attached. Yeah.
Cool, great. Now I wanted to also touch on being an independent YouTuber. You know, a lot of YouTubers now are starting to hear about these MCNs, the multi-channel networking
Yeah.
companies, right? Are you guys part of an MCN?
My personal channel is, yeah.
I currently am not.
I see.
Yeah.
So do you say then that it's not necessary for the formula of YouTube success? Do you think people should
I mean,
join?
I think every channel is different and every kind of content is different. And so it makes sense for some, doesn't make sense for others. For me, it's provided some cool things. It's provided some of those brand deals and, you know, it's a big world that is tough to kind of grasp sometimes. So it is nice to have a little bit of help in that area.
Great.
But yeah, for some channels, it doesn't make sense. And
Yeah.
you kind of have to do what works for you, I'd say.
Definitely.
Excellent. So I see on your channel, we all know that you guys do a lot of really great collabs with some great YouTube artists. How important are collabs for YouTube? As a YouTuber, do you recommend people do YouTube collabs, and why?
Yeah, I mean, collaborating on first and foremost, I think it's fun.
Yeah.
Like a lot of the people we collaborate with are our friends. I mean, on Sam's album, we did a song with Keena Granis and Sam doing a duet,
Yeah.
and you know, it's a ton of fun just to have her over and we record and we go shoot a video, and it's just a blast. And also, you know, if you're just starting out, and you're trying to build a channel, I think collaborating with other people is a great way to do it because you're exposing yourself to many new audiences.
Yeah,
Great.
and there are really some fantastic musicians on YouTube. One thing that these kind of new social platforms has done is allowed talent to shine and sort of rise to the top. And so it's so much fun to be in the position to get to work with some of these people that we admire so much as musicians. And yeah, so it's just a blast.